Hello, welcome to my tutorial on a program called Snagit. It is a screen capture program that allows you to capture images, text, whatever you want to off of websites and even off of your own desktop. To start with, I'm going to show you a little bit about the program. I'm also going to give you a quick overview of the three different functions that you can use for it. Those functions include capturing the picture, doing some editing, and also exporting. I will be showing you how the software functions. While we're doing that, I'm going to be preparing a PowerPoint presentation. It's going to be over a card game called Cribbage. If you're interested in learning more about Cribbage, I will have a link with some information on it at the end of the video. Snagit has three different components to the software. It has a screen capture component, then it has an editing component, and it has an exporting component. I'll show you all three of these. First up, we're going to talk about the screen capture. There's several different types of screen captures that you can do. The one that I use the most is the all-in-one. I'll show that to you right now. To select it, you can just select on these different icons. For this one, we'll select the all-in-one. To take pictures of your screen, you want to push this red button down here. Then you'll notice this is their smart adapter. And immediately the adapter comes up and it shows you just a highlighted area of this little box here. You also notice that you have this little magnifying glass here that allows you to really get in close if you need to just get a certain part of a website. As you can see, I'm just pulling this straight off my desktop. It will take pictures of your desktop, so if you have images or other items on your desktop that you want to get a picture of, you can use that as well. If you move this around, you'll see that the box zooms out, so you can take the entire screen, a little section of it. You can even get the little search bar over here. So lots of different methods of taking pictures. And once you click it, it just zooms in and takes the picture and brings it up to its editor. Now that I've given you a quick overview of some of the screen capture options of Snagit, with my PowerPoint, I need to find some images. The first image that I need to get is a picture of a cribbage board. I've gotten online and found a picture that I'd like to take. I'm going to use the all-in-one option to take that picture. To start with, just select the all-in-one and then hit the red button. That's capture, as I mentioned earlier. Now I'm just going to draw a little box around this cribbage board so I can get the image, and it pops up into my screen editor. And then from there we'll be ready to do some editing. But there's a few other details I want to show you first before we get into the editing, so we're going to just leave that there. If you notice on here, we have several different options of things that we can do. One of them down here on the bottom is a library of all the pictures that I've taken, so this will be here when we come back in a few minutes. One of the new features of Snagit that I want to show you that goes along with the all-in-one feature is the ability to get an entire web page. Not just what's showing on the screen, but also what is showing below the screen when you scroll. As you can see on this web page, there's lots of pictures of things that I might want to use in my presentation, so I'm just going to take an image of the entire website, or the entire web page. To do that, just select your all-in-one and start the capture. Now if you notice down here at the bottom, you've got this little yellow arrow. If you hover over it, it tells you it will allow you to capture the entire scrolling area. If this page was larger, you could go over to the right side and it would have an arrow over here that you can use to get the page that goes further off to the right, and there'd be an arrow down at the bottom corner that allow you to get the entire thing. So to start off, we're just going to click on the yellow arrow, and you see it going through the little thinking process as it's pulling up everything. And here's the web page, and it looks like you've got the entire page. So that's a cool feature, and from here you can start editing out. For the presentation that I'm working on, I just want a picture of the cribbage board, so I'm going to crop out all of this extra white space. Snagit gives you several different options for cropping. First option, if you select the image tab, and you can select the crop button. Another option is you'll notice there's these white boxes around the outside of the picture. If you select one of them and drag the picture in, it'll crop off part of the picture. Now if you take this, if you grab one of those boxes and pull the other direction, you can expand your workspace. Now that we have expanded our working space, we can cut out our cribbage board. To do that, we're going to use this polygon style cutout, and we're going to outline the board. Now you can use several different styles with this. If you want to try freehand, you can do that as well. I wouldn't recommend it because it's pretty hard to keep straight lines. And then once you get to this last line here, you just double click, and you'll see that it highlights, and then you just grab it and pull it off to the side. Now if we were to import this image directly into our PowerPoint presentation, it would take all of this, the old background, and as well as the cribbage board, so we don't want that. So to fix this, we're going to select the rectangular selection and then go to Image, and we are going to outline or highlight the cribbage board and then select Crop. And now we have our image that's ready to be imported into our PowerPoint. This is an image that I captured earlier. I'm going to use this image in my presentation to show the audience the different phases of play. Mainly I want to point out to them that these cards down here are called the crib, and that these cards up here are the dealer's hand, and these cards are the non-dealer's hand. Now to do that, I'm going to draw some arrows and some message bubbles onto the picture. But before we do that, I need to prepare the picture so that it'll be the right size when I put it onto my PowerPoint. And you'll notice that the picture right now is pretty big, so we want to resize that. So we're going to go to Image, select Resize, and then Resize Image. And then here a pop-up box comes up and allows you to scale the image by percentage or by pixels. We want to scale by percentage, and you can use the arrows to move that number up or down, or you can just type it in. We're going to type it in, go to 60%, and hit close. As you can see, the picture is much smaller now. It'll fit onto the slide a little bit better. However, we have some white space on here that we need to get rid of, so we're just going to trim that. We're going to go to Draw, make sure my rectangle selection is selected, and then we're just going to draw a box around the picture and get rid of that white space. And once the box is drawn, you just select the image and crop. Now that we've gotten the image down to a size that we can work with, we can start adding our arrows and our balloons. To add an arrow, go to Draw and select the arrow icon. Now if you go over to the list that comes up, you'll see that you have a lot of different arrow types that you can choose from. We're just going to choose this green arrow. Then you draw the arrow on. We're going to draw two of those arrows so we can point out two items here. Now that we have the arrows drawn, we want to put in some message bubbles saying that this is the dealer's hand and this is the crib. To do that, we're going to select the call out option, and we have several different types and styles that you can choose from. We're going to choose this style right here because we just want a box. And you draw a box around by the arrow. We're going to type in dealer's hand. Now you'll notice that right now we have a white background. I don't really want that because it stands out too much. So we're going to remove this background. To do that, you're going to make sure that the box is selected. Go over here to Fill, and we're going to select No Fill. Now the white is gone, but you notice that it's kind of hard to read. There's some shadow effects that have been applied to this, so we're going to get rid of that as well. To do that, you go over and select Effects, Shadow, and then just select the No Shadow. And now it's a little bit easier to read. And then you can move this box around, make it look a little bit nicer if you'd like to. Change the position of the arrows. You can even change the size of your arrow and do lots of different things. Now that we have our cards labeled, there's one other detail that I want to point out, and that's what kind of cribbage board I'm using. To do that, I'm going to use a call-out bubble like I was using before, and I really like this design here, so we're going to use that. Just go ahead and draw a box and type in, this is a racetrack style board. Now as you can see, not all of the text is shown, so we're going to adjust the size a little bit and just pull this down. and we're going to recenter it a little bit, and there we have our graphic done. This picture is now ready to be exported into the PowerPoint presentation. Now that we have our image finished, you're probably wondering how are we going to export this into our PowerPoint presentation. With Snagit, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is select the Send button, and you'll see that PowerPoint has its own icon on the Output Accessories tab. If you select the arrow below PowerPoint, you'll see that you can export into either a new presentation or a presentation that's currently open. You'll also see an Options tab, which if you select that gives you a couple of different options for exporting. You can either export the picture into a current slide or a new slide, and you can copy it to the presentation or link to it. We're going to insert this particular image into a current slide, and we want it to copy, so we'll select OK. Before we export the image to PowerPoint, we want to make sure that we have the correct slide selected. So open up your PowerPoint presentation and scroll through to the slide that you want to copy your image to. As you can see here, I've already imported some of the images and some others that I edited before I made this video. This is a slide that I want to import to, so we're going to click the area that we want it to import to and go back to Snagit. Then we can either select the PowerPoint icon here, or we can select the down arrow and select the name of the PowerPoint. And now the picture is in our PowerPoint. You're not limited to just these 4 output accessories. If you want to add some more or get other accessories, you can do that pretty easily. All you have to do is select this little arrow in the corner of the box, then select Accessories Manager, and then from there just select the Get More Accessories. And that will take you to the Trendsmith webpage where you can customize your software. Once you've exported your image into your software program, you're pretty much done. So thank you for watching my tutorial. I would highly recommend this software program. If you want to learn a little bit more about cribbage, you should visit this website.